They say football remembers everything, every triumph, every heartbreak, every whisper of fate. But what if football also remembers curses? For over half a century, one club, proud, mighty and adored, has chased a ghost they cannot outrun. A ghost left behind by one man, a genius, a legend and perhaps a vengeful soul. This is the story of Béla Guttmann, the man who built Benfica's empire and then doomed it for a century. Lisbon, 1962. The sun glows golden over the Portuguese capital. Benfica are kings of Europe. They've just conquered Real Madrid, 5-3 in one of the greatest European Cup finals ever played. In the dressing room, champagne sprays, laughter echoes, and the players chant the name of their Hungarian coach. Guttmann! 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 He stands there quietly, smiling beneath the weight of destiny. He's built this from nothing. 2 European Cups back to back, a team that played with fire, freedom and flair, the greatest Benfica side ever assembled. But history is cruel and success, it seems, always comes with a price. Béla Guttmann wasn't born to be ordinary. He was born into chaos. Budapest, 1899, a time when the world itself was changing faster than anyone could keep up. He was Jewish, restless and brilliantly unpredictable. He played football like a poet, graceful, intelligent but full of rebellion. Yet war and hate chased him everywhere. He survived the Holocaust. He lost family in the camps. And when he returned to football, he carried with him something no man could see: the hunger to control fate. By the 1950s, Guttmann had become a wanderer, a football gypsy, some called him. He managed clubs in Hungary, Italy, Argentina, Brazil, and everywhere he went, success followed. But so did chaos. He was brilliant and impossible. He demanded respect, discipline, and fair pay. He believed players and managers deserved more than the clubs were willing to give. So when he arrived at Benfica in 1959, he was different from any coach Portugal had ever seen. He tore down the old traditions, ended the drinking culture, changed the tactics, and unleashed the youth. He turned Benfica into a modern, attacking machine.
Eusebio, Coluna, José Aguas, players who would define not just a club, but a nation.
In 1961, Benfica shocked Europe, defeating Barcelona to lift their first European Cup. And then they did it again the following year. They were unstoppable. Benfica with a new Real Madrid. Lisbon had become the center of the football universe, and at the heart of it all was Béla Guttmann, the man who turned dreams into reality. But success can be the cruelest illusion. After that second European triumph in 1962, Guttmann walked into the Benfica boardroom. He wasn't there to celebrate. He was there for a simple request. He asked for a raise, a small share of the glory he had created. He believed he had earned it. 2 European Cups, global recognition. Benfica were richer, stronger, and more famous than ever before, all because of him. But the club said no. They refused. They dismissed him like a passing storm. That moment, that insult, was the beginning of everything that would follow. Guttmann left the club in silence. But before he walked out of Lisbon, he uttered the words that would echo through eternity. He said, "Not in 100 years will Benfica ever win another European Cup." Those words were not shouted in anger. They were whispered, like a prayer, or perhaps a curse. At first, no one took it seriously. Benfica were too good, too dominant, too modern. They thought, surely, they would win again. But fate had already turned its back. 1963, a year after Guttmann's departure. Benfica returned to the European Cup final, their third in a row. Their opponents, AC Milan. The world expected another Portuguese triumph. But Milan were ruthless. They defeated Benfica 2-1, and from that day, the curse began to breathe. Then came 1965. Benfica again reached the final. They face Inter Milan, Eusebio in his prime, the whole of Portugal behind them. But again, they lose. 1-0, the same script, the same heartbreak. And somewhere far away, Béla Guttmann's prophecy grew darker. Years turned to decades. Benfica would reach 8 European finals and lose every single one. 1963, 1965.
1968, 1983, 1988,
1990, 2013, 2014. 8 chances at glory. 8 heartbreaks. 8 reminders that some shadows never fade. In 1990, before facing AC Milan again, Benfica's players travelled to Vienna to visit Guttmann's grave. They placed flowers on his tombstone. They prayed for the curse to end. But when the final whistle blew, they had lost again, 1-0, no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they came. Benfica could never touch Europe again. Some call it coincidence, some call it football's strange symmetry, but others believe something deeper binds this story. They say Guttmann's soul never forgave the betrayal, that his words, like a spell, chained Benfica's fate for a century. A curse, not born of hatred, but of pride, of a man who gave everything and received nothing. Then came 1968's European Cup final, Manchester United, Wembley again. Eusebio versus Best, Law and Charlton. A night written in destiny. Benfica pushed, fought, dazzled. At 1-1 they nearly scored a winner, a chance that could have changed everything. But fate had other plans. Eusebio's shot, saved, his hands on his head, a silent scream. United surged in extra time, winning 4-1. Benfica defeated once more. After the final, Eusebio wept. He had given everything. But even his brilliance could not silence the ghost that lingered over his club. To the fans, it was more than defeat. It was confirmation. The curse lived. Benfica's European dreams began to fade. The 1970s arrived. A new generation, a new world. Yet every time the club reached for continental glory, something invisible pulled them back. Decade after decade, the same story. Finals, semi-finals, near misses, 8 finals, 8 losses. No other great club in Europe suffered this same fate, this consistency of tragedy. Each generation had their own heartbreak, each era a new chapter of the curse. In the 1980s, the pain resurfaced again. 1988, European Cup final, Benfica versus PSV Eindhoven, a match destined for
penalties. It was tense, silent, 5 penalties each, and then 1 miss. Benfica's dream crumbled again. Guttmann's words echoed louder. 100 years, a century of sorrow. And then 1990, Vienna, the final that would define the myth. It was supposed to be poetic, Benfica returning to the very city where Guttmann once walked. They faced AC Milan again, same opponent, same stage. But this time, something strange happened. Before the match, Eusebio, long retired, long revered, visited Guttmann's grave. He placed flowers, he whispered a prayer, he begged the man to lift the curse. But the curse did not listen. Milan won 1-0. Another final lost, another wound reopened. It was no longer just a story, it had become ritual. Every Benfica fan born after 1962 grew up with it. Every loss became proof, every victory, temporary. By the 1990s, Guttmann had been dead for decades, but his shadow remained alive, not just in stadiums, but in minds. Reporters referenced him, commentators whispered his name whenever Benfica drew a European giant. A living legend turned into a living curse. Some said it was psychological, that the weight of the curse created fear in every player who wore red in a European final, that it wasn't superstition, but expectation, a curse made real by belief itself. Others swore it was real, that something beyond reason lingered, that a man's fury could ripple through time, changing fate for an entire century. Because here's the thing about curses, they don't need to be true to be powerful, they just need to be believed. And so, generation after generation, belief carried the curse forward. Even as modern football evolved, from black and white to HD, from radio to social media, the story stayed the same. The curse of Béla Guttmann had outlived the man, his players, and even the world he once knew. Time, it never forgets. It moves forward, yes, but sometimes it carries with it the ghosts of unfinished stories. And for Benfica, that ghost had a name. Béla Guttmann. 50 years after he walked out of Lisbon in fury, his words still lingered. No Portuguese team will ever win another European trophy for 100 years. And for a while, it seemed like only a legend, a football myth told in smoky Lisbon cafes. But by 2013, the myth began to feel too real. Benfica were back, a team reborn under Jorge Jesus. They were fearless, creative, and fast. The old spirit of the Eagles was back in flight. And as they soared through the Europa League, it felt like destiny calling again. May 15th, 2013. Amsterdam, Benfica versus Chelsea. It was a night of tension, redemption, and perhaps reckoning. Benfica played beautifully. They competed with Chelsea. They controlled the game. But football is cruel in ways that echo beyond tactics. At 1-1, the game slipped into stoppage time. One last corner. Chelsea swing it in. Branislav Ivanovic leaps high, too high. And in that frozen instant,
Benfica's dreams fall apart again. A header in the last second. A dagger to the heart, 2-1. Another European final lost. To the world, it was heartbreak. But to Benfica fans, to the older ones who remembered 1962, it was something more, something darker. The curse had whispered again. 1 year later, another chance, another final. This time Benfica versus Sevilla, 2014 Europa League final. For 120 minutes, Benfica fought, brave, organized, disciplined. But again, the ball refused to go in. The net was guarded by fate itself, 0-0, penalties. One by one, the players step up, and one by one, fate turns away. Benfica lose 4-2 on penalties. Another European dream gone. That night, some said you could almost feel it. The weight of something old, a shadow watching from the stands. Because now the count had grown unbearable. 8 European finals, 8 losses. It was no longer a joke, no longer a legend. It was a pattern carved into the fabric of Benfica's history, each generation feeling the echo of one man's anger. Some fans said the club had tried everything: priests, blessings, exorcisms, even pilgrimages to Béla Guttmann's grave in Vienna. They left flowers, they begged for forgiveness, but the curse remained silent and alive. Perhaps Guttmann's words weren't a curse at all. Perhaps they were prophecy, or maybe the reflection of a broken man's pain carried by time. Because sometimes in football, pain becomes legacy, and legacy becomes legend. In football, time moves fast. Managers come and go, players rise and fade, but legends never truly die. And for Benfica, one legend, one man, still lingers in the shadows of Estadio da Luz. Béla Guttmann, the man who built an empire, then cursed it, and now somehow still owns part of its soul. To understand how this curse still breathes, we have to return to who Guttmann really was. Not a sorcerer, not a myth, but a man shaped by survival, success, and betrayal. He survived the horrors of World War II. He escaped Nazi camps. He lost family, friends, and almost his own identity. When he rebuilt his life through football, Benfica was his masterpiece. 2 European cups, an attacking style that terrified the world, a team built from nothing, led by vision, passion, and faith. But football is cruel even to its heroes. When Guttmann asked for a reward, a raise that matched his triumphs, Benfica refused. Pride met pride. The door slammed, and Guttmann walked away with fire in his heart. As he left Lisbon, he muttered those fateful words: "Not in 100 years will Benfica ever be European champions again." Maybe it wasn't a curse. Maybe it was heartbreak, the cry of a genius betrayed. But words have power, and football, more than any other game, knows how to turn pain into prophecy. Decades have passed. 8 finals have come and gone, each one ending the same way: defeat. Fans began to believe that this wasn't coincidence. They called it a maldição de Béla Guttmann, the curse of Béla Guttmann. And so Benfica began to live between 2 worlds, the rationale and the mystical. The world of tactics, training, and money, and the unseen world of fate, superstition, and ghosts. There's a statue of Béla Guttmann outside Estadio de Luz. Every time Benfica reach a European final, players walk up to it, they touch it, they whisper, they pray for forgiveness, for luck, for the curse to end. Because deep down, they all know football isn't just a sport, it's belief, it's faith. It's the idea that destiny can be changed if your heart is strong enough. Benfica still compete in Portugal. They've built legends, nurtured stars, and filled their stadium with dreams. And every time they walk out in red, the fans believe maybe this will be the year. Maybe this time the ghost will finally rest. Béla Guttmann once turned Benfica into the kings of Europe. Now his shadow keeps them chasing the crown they lost. But maybe that's the beauty of it all. Maybe the curse isn't punishment, maybe it's purpose. Because it keeps Benfica fighting, keeps them dreaming, keeps them alive. In a way, Béla Guttmann never really left. His spirit still walks those Lisbon streets, still stands by the touchline, still watches quietly from beyond the noise. And maybe one day, when Benfica finally lift that European trophy again, he'll smile and the curse will break. Until then,